All right, everybody, welcome back to another Sunday sit down. And today we're talking about trading, ICT concepts. If I were to restart, where exactly would I start in the whole ICT library? I know if you're watching this video, you've been struggling with trading, you're looking for the one thing that'll answer it all. And the truth is, it's not one thing that'll answer it all. It's the discipline of going through the previous information and really learning it properly and answering questions that you don't even know that you have questions about yet. And I know that could seem kind of like an oxymoron, but the truth about ICT concepts is that you're not going to be able to master them on the first try. I know everybody thinks that they're going to be the ones to break the key and crack the code, but it's so much information that's so dense that it's going to take more than one repetition to get the information down properly. So what I would suggest if I was redoing the ICT library of ideas is this. I would first start off with the 2022 mentorship. I would write it out by hand, almost word for word what he's saying. And then after I would use that written down information, I would screen grab the information while I'm watching it. And then after I would type my notes every single time I'm done a video onto the computer, whether in a DocX, whether in Microsoft Word, whether in Google Docs. And I would keep track of all that information for every single video in the 2022 mentorship. Once I'd be done the 2022 mentorship, I would still not be moving into demo trading, not be moving into live trading. I would move directly into the core content. The core content will teach you about risk management. Will teach you about monthly, seasonal tendencies, profiles. Will teach you about daily profiles. Will teach you about how to properly predict where price is likely to go at a high rate. It'll teach you about risk management and what percentage you need to be accurate to be a profitable trader. Once I'd be done the core content, same thing. I would screen grab everything that I'm on my computer and I would journal everything by hand. And then after I would type everything by hand that I wrote into my computer once I'm done every single video. Now, once I would be done that, I would move to the 2023 mentorship and I would follow ICT, all of his predictions. When he pauses the video, I would pause the video, try to answer the questions that he's asking. And then after, I would go on the NQ1 chart and I would follow along with his predictions from this week to the future week and see how consistent he is with his overall predictions. Surprise, he's about 95% correct on all of his predictions. And you get to see exactly how he enters the market. You get to see exactly how he reads the tape. You get to learn exactly how he journals. You get to see exactly what model he's using. And it'll help refine the ideas that you learned in the 2022 mentorship and in the core content series. Once you're done the 2023 mentorship, I would suggest now you likely have a decent base in ICT information. I would suggest now that you watch the Ends series on ICT's channel. That'll teach you how to market yourself, how to make this into a business, how to refine it into a YouTube channel or a Kick channel or a Twitch channel, however you want to kind of stream it to earn that secondary income so you don't have to invest further of your personal income into trading prop firms, into trading, funding your overall personal account. It'll teach you how to make a side income once you're able to understand the basics, which is the 2022 core content and 2023. Now, once you're done all that, I would suggest you redo the 2022 mentorship, the entirety of the core content, and then I would suggest you move into the 2024 mentorship. The 2024 mentorship will talk about new week opening gaps, quadrants, stuff like that, how to use them properly. And then once you're done that, if you're able to then demo for 3 months and be profitable, or if you see yourself be profitable in 1 month, whenever you see that you're able to be profitable, that's when I would look at getting into a prop firm. Don't be like me. I was overindulgent. I thought that I was ready way before I should have been ready. After the 2022 model mentorship, in my mind, I was like, I got this. I got this. This is going to be easy. Bought a 50K account, lost it. Bought a 100K account, lost it. Bought another 100K account. I had to take a break because I was losing and I was stressed out and I wanted to make money by a certain specific time that I actually lost that account for not trading for 30 days. That's how high stressed I was in my overall beginning of the my trading journey. I then started the core content right after I failed that 30-day. I went on a huge kind of life journey, essentially. And I'll talk about that in one of my next videos, on a life journey, driving across the United States and really trying to figure out myself, really trying to deal with some of the anxiety, depression, stuff that I had at work during the 9 to 5, finding God again, how that impacted my life and following my journey. I was 350 pounds, now I'm about 225. And I had lost maybe about 70 pounds on that overall journey, or 60 pounds on that overall journey, really coming closer to God, coming closer to myself, coming closer to understanding why I'm doing what I'm doing, understanding why am I in this mess, understanding all of that stuff. Because what ICT says, which is the deepest thing that I think he provides to all of us, is a way to actually salve ourselves through God and save ourselves through the love and blood of Jesus Christ. And I think that that is the deepest lesson he's really teaching us, that you need to master yourself. What do you do when you're sad? What do you do when you're upset? Who do you talk to when you're angry, when you want revenge, when you want to do things that you know are against your proper judgment? And it's because we're not of a clear, sound mind, and we're likely to act on impulse. And if you're going to be trading, you have to understand that those impulsive nature that you have, those angry feelings you have at your parents, those angry feelings you have at your sister, those angry feelings you have at work, and the person who cut you off in traffic, all of those bleed out into the charts unless you slow down your life, take deep breaths, understand what love is. And for me, understanding what love is to understand the sacrifice that Jesus made for all of us in his death and resurrection. And once you find out who you are and why you make the decisions that you make and how to stop yourself from making those decisions, you get a completely different perspective on life. You don't get upset on people on Twitter. You don't get upset about people commenting on maybe work that you handed in and they don't like it. You start to have such a larger amount of peace, and you start to move into areas that give you more peace than to be into these destructive kind of areas. The worst thing you could do, and the worst thing that I did when I first started off, is that within the first kind of summer months that I finished the 2022 mentorship, I told myself, I'm going to make 50 grand by December. If not, I'm a failure. And it could sound like a great idea, because a lot of kind of life coaches tell you, well, have long-term goals. And I was like, this is about 6 months. That should give me enough time. The thing about trading is the closer you get to that goal, the higher the pressure is going to become. And with trading, I know you can make a lot of money quick, but you could also lose a lot of money quick. So when you're kind of relying on one source of income to pay your bills, pay your car note, pay your rent, pay your electricity bill, pay your cell phone bill, pay your gas bill, pay your mortgage, whatever it is, it increases the over amount of discomfort that you have that can lead you to see things in the charts that aren't actually there. And that's one of the largest things that ICT kind of taught me. And I thank God that I was able to walk into or open my laptop one day after I had a huge spiritual awakening to him being the first person on my screen. I'm like, who the heck even is this guy? So I wanted to talk about how you should order, what I would do personally if I were to restudy ICT's library again, how I would organize it, and how I would be patient with myself. If you have a 4-year goal, keep it at a 4-year goal. I want to make $1,000 a week. I want to, what's the lowest bill that you have? Your cell phone bill, let's say $60 a month. I want to be able to make $60 so I can offset that cost. Then you improve. You can move to a higher note. I want to make what would be the next highest bill that some people would have. For me, likely my car, my rent, that kind of stuff. I want to make $800 a month to be able to pay off my car note. Or let's say $1,100 a month so I could pay off my insurance and my car note. I want to make enough money to pay off my rent per month, $2,200. So once you slowly kind of evolve in your growth, bettering yourself, bettering your patience in the market, bettering your executions, bettering your risk management, you slowly start to see that the impulsivities that you used to have going into market, I got to make money now, is changed into this overall mindset of how can I determine where price is going to lead with a high probability. And with that mindset shift from I need to make money as quickly as possible to pay all my bills, you realize that you have this sense of calmness inside of you, and you don't take your losses so personally, and you don't take your wins as a super high climactic thing. The first time I saw $1,500, $2,000 profits in trades, I was ecstatic. I went to backflips. I want to tell everybody, tell my friends, tell my cousins that I've made it, because they all know that I've been on this journey. Tell my dad, tell my mom, look how good I am, blah, blah, blah. But then when they ask for that next follow-up, when they realize they haven't heard from you for the next 2 weeks or the next 3 weeks or the next 1 month, and they ask, oh, how's that trading thing going? And you have to lie. because you're not doing as good as you thought you were doing. Or you have to mismanage what you tell them. Training's kind of difficult, but you make up all kinds of excuses when the best thing for you to do is to deepen yourself in the knowledge, deepen yourself in the library, work on yourself, and really not tell anybody what you're doing until you're able to be consistently profitable. And even then, because who knows what that's going to look like when they're saying, just let your work speak for itself. When you pay off your car, when you able to gift better gifts at Christmas or at religious holidays that you might have, when you're able to take your parents on nice dinners and take them out and help help them pay for their bills. Let that speak for itself and stop talking with your mouth. So I wanted to talk about, I guess, initially just what I would do if I was an ICT trader restarting again, but I guess I kind of merged into lifestyle things, which coincidentally, they both kind of cross paths and kind of interlock themselves with your overall trading journey. So with that being said, thanks for coming down to another Sunday sit down. I wish you all the best. Just know I'm rooting for you. You can do it. Set appropriate goals, but don't have time specific goals. If you do have them, make them small, attainable goals, but not until you have a large resources of the library. Once you're able to do the 2022 mentorship twice, the ICT core content twice, the 2023 mentorship twice, the N series twice, and those kind of things, and then you practice in a demo, and then you're able to finally practice in a prop firm or take your real amount of personal capital and invest it into a small portfolio. Take your time to be profitable. Don't be in a rush, and you'll realize that it'll all come in due time. Just focus. Don't give up. If you decided the 9 to 5 is not for you, and everybody else around you saying, why would you quit your great job, and why would you do this, and why would you do that? You don't owe an explanation to everybody. You can find your own path, walk that path, and have strength and conviction that you're on the right path if you believe God is telling you this is the right path for you. That might be right for them, but this is the right path for you. And the biggest thing you can do that'll mess even bigger with your psychology is trying to deny that path for yourself to try to follow an avenue that you're not passionate about. So get passionate about it, get into the charts, get to learning, and achieve all the goals that you want to achieve. All right. I'll catch you on next week's Sunday sit down. Until then, peace. Good luck in your trading.